It's real estate month. Still, all month, whole month of September is real estate month here at the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We're currently on the road. I am in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and myself and Saul and Christian, your friendly neighborhood Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce team, will be in Madison tonight. Check out our events page. If you want to come join us, there's still time to register. It'll be a good time. There'll be food, beverages, networking, all that fun stuff. But hey, we're here to talk about VA home loans, everything that you need to know about VA home loans. And we're going to talk about it with a VA home loan expert. His name's Matt Titel. He's going to bring all of the value, all of the information that you need to know, or because some different information applies to different people in different ways, he's going to tell you where you can find all the information that you need to find as far as your eligibility is concerned. And, because if you are eligible for a VA loan, it could be a good fit for you if you're looking to buy a home. It's not always a good fit, but it could be because there are a lot of benefits associated with that. It's exciting stuff. Well, maybe not super exciting. I don't know how sexy VA home loans are, but it's valuable information. Insanely valuable. So if value and valuable information is exciting for you, this is going to be an exciting conversation. We're going to dive right into it right after this. It doesn't matter where we are, Milwaukee, Madison, La Crosse, Eau Claire, Wausau, Green Bay, doesn't matter where, that song always gets me pumped up. Now, I am at the mercy of hotel internet. It's been reliable today so far. I hope I don't get booted. So far, so good. If you have questions, though, we're definitely happy to answer this. This is a dialogue, so if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitch or YouTube, please throw your questions about VA home loans or anything associated with that in the comments, and we'll get to it. But most importantly, would like to introduce our good friend, Matt Titel. Matt, how are you?
Pretty good, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you betcha. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Well, I'm the president of Commonwealth Mortgage Group. We have offices in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and up in Appleton, kind of the Green Bay area. So we kind of cover pretty much the whole state, but the main focus is the Milwaukee metro and kind of the Green Bay metro area. So I served in the U.S. Army from 98 to 2004. I was a sergeant. I was an ammunition specialist for Operation Noble Eagle, Enduring Freedom. I was kind of all over the place as far as bases. Most of the time I was in Germany, Ramstein, Landstuhl, Niesau. That's pretty much military career-wise, but I have a wife, 2 kids, and most of the time I'm just shuttling kids around to sporting events. So that's
it is that time of year.
Right.
Definitely exactly. That time of year. My goodness. Getting back into the swing of things. Those first couple of weeks back at school are always insane.
It's been brutal.
So what is a VA loan? What even is a VA loan? Let's start there.
Sure. So a VA loan is just a mortgage product that's guaranteed by the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. The main purpose of this loan was to increase access to homeownership and increase financial stability for American veterans, and to offer like an exclusive benefit to acknowledge their service is really what it is. But, there's so many positives to this program. It's pretty much, if you qualify, I recommend at least taking a look at it.
So what are some of those benefits then? Like, why would somebody want to consider a VA loan?
Sure. So, I kind of have a bunch kind of put together. The first one would be no credit score requirements. There technically is not a credit score requirement for the VA.
Interesting.
That being said, there are lender overlays where, some lenders say, if you don't have a 680, we're not going to do it. Most of the stuff I've been seeing, 580 is kind of where we're like, you get lower than that, it's really difficult to get the loan done. I've done them down to 500 already, but those are circumstances where I'm always like, let's just fix your credit first before we go
Right,
and buy a
right.
house. You're just better off doing it that way. There's no down payment requirements, so that's a big plus. You don't have to spend your down payment. You can spend it on getting that new washer and dryer and the new furniture instead of putting 3, 5, 10, 20% down.
Right. So if I am eligible for a VA loan and I maybe don't have enough for a down payment, is that just a no-brainer for me to start building some equity? Are there any downsides to a VA loan?
The only downside that I've really ever seen is you are putting no money down, so you have really no equity to start. But with the market the way it is today, I mean, next year you might already have 10% equity in the house already. So you're not really losing anything there. Honestly, I've never came up with this is the worst part of the VA loan. Minus the funding fee. There is a funding fee that is involved with the VA loan that gets tacked onto your loan. But other than that fee, there really isn't anything where I was like, maybe we should look at a conventional loan instead if you qualify for the VA loan.
Interesting. So are lenders or maybe a home seller, are they hesitant to engage with somebody that's using a home loan, a VA home loan? I've heard horror stories, but I don't know if it's actually true.
I think it really is. I think it's just more of uneducated realtors not educating their sellers on the program. I mean, it is one of the benefits of the VA that I was going to talk about too. Is a VA loan last year actually had it was 4% more likely to close than a conventional loan.
Oh wow!
So
see, I didn't know that.
There really are. It's the lack of education on the program for that realtor or that buyer or that seller. Maybe that seller had a bad experience in the past. But I feel like I get better appraisals. I get better turn times. The veterans just seem to be better qualified when they're using their VA loans compared to other loan programs that I do.
Right on. So let's talk about eligibility. So is it anybody that served in the military for any period of time, active, reserve, guard, what? How do you become eligible?
So I would say the best way to see if you're eligible is getting that certificate of eligibility. So it's called a COE. And this can be done a couple different ways. One, contact a mortgage professional and say, hey, I want to get pre-approved. They can order a certificate of eligibility, and sometimes it takes us 30 seconds to get one.
Oh, okay.
If it is, say you've been in the military a long time or there's a lot of issues with your military career, we might have to send it into the VA and they might have to do some digging and stuff. But that's the easiest, that's an easy, quick way to do it if you want to contact somebody. Otherwise, you can log into your e-benefits and you can actually pull it yourself.
Oh, well, how about that?
Yeah,
well,
so
it's interesting.
I've had it where people have brought me their certificate of eligibility and I'm like, oh, sweet, perfect. I just send it in and we're good to go. But most of the time they just contact me and I'm like, I type in their social security number, their birthday, and hit submit, and it's done. So
right, and there are requirements that to use a VA loan, like a home inspection and blah blah blah. But those are things you should probably be doing anyways. Is that accurate?
Right. I mean, I think the only other thing that the home inspection is not required, but in some areas of Wisconsin, a couple years ago, they kind of added some additional areas in Wisconsin where you need pest inspections. And I think that's probably the biggest one that comes up where people are like, oh, I don't want to do a pest inspection. But most of the state, I mean, all they're looking for is, ants and, crazy pests. I have yet to see a pest inspection having any issues in it.
Right.
And, and they're really only, there's a general rule of thumb. If you're south of Highway 10, there are like a list of like 15 counties where you're in that county, you're going to need a pest inspection. And I always say, if you're south of Highway 10, we better look at it.
Right. Well, that
So
makes
otherwise,
sense.
you don't need that pest inspection because they figure it's going to freeze out anyway. Anything that's in your house is going to die.
Yeah. What are some of the other requirements? What else do we need to know about the VA loan?
Sure. So some of the requirements, I would say a general rule is, say if you're active duty and you've had 90 days of continuous service, you should be good. And then if you're a reservist, you can also have that 90 days of continued active duty service or 6 credible years of National Guard Reserve service. So that's kind of the general rule of thumb, but the certificate of eligibility is the best way to do it because
Right.
there's pages and pages of, if you're between this and this, if you served here, if you served there, there might be different requirements or less requirements or more requirements for you to be able to use your VA loan.
Depends on when you served, for how long, where you
Right.
served, and all sorts
Sure.
of different criteria. So best to get that certificate of eligibility.
Correct.
So what else do we need to know about the VA loan? I feel like
Some
we're
other, some
crash
other,
coursing it here.
sure. Some other pros are there's no maximum loan amount. They just got rid of that
Oh, good.
earlier this last year, so that's been kind of nice. No monthly mortgage insurance, so even though you're putting 0% down, you don't have that monthly fee that you're paying to the
PMI.
lender to have that loan. There's also other things that there's protections that the VA put into place. There's certain closing costs that are just not allowed to be charged to the veteran. I like to call those junk fees. You know, you can't really charge like a loan application fee, processing fees. Some of the pest inspection fees are not allowed, specifically in Wisconsin.
Interesting.
So that's kind of nice.
So you can save some money.
Exactly, you can save some money, and it just, what it really does is it prevents anybody from taking advantage of a veteran.
Right.
And I think that's probably the best part of it. I would say the thing I tell most realtors most on any VA loan is appraisal integrity is probably the best benefit that I sell to realtors. And what that means is, so I've gotten conventional appraisals back, and they've been 50 grand light purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
There's legitimately nothing we can do. We can call the appraiser and complain and like maybe send them a comp and be like, well, this isn't this better, but then you're kind of, the appraisers don't like to be called out. So
Imagine that.
What the VA has is there's a thing called Tidewater. And what that allows us to do is, so when the appraiser goes out there and looks at the property, and he's like, this property is not worth what the asking price is. We're 20 grand short. They'll reach out to both realtors and talk to them and be like, hey, do you have any better comps that we can use? And then they initiate Tidewater, and then we have like 3 to 5 days to kind of get all these comps in and be like, here, this is what we think the value should be. And I mean, they really do try to get us to get that better into the house. I've had a couple over the years, and 100% we've won every single one of them. There's also another one where you can do a reconsideration of value. We can send comps right to the VA. And even if the appraiser says, no, this house isn't worth it, we're looking at this and we're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. We can go right to the VA, send in those same comps. And if the VA thinks it's worth it, we're good to go. And that is no other program that I know of anyway.
Interesting.
So it's a really good benefit. Yeah, does that add some days to the transaction? Yeah, I mean, you're going to add a couple days for Tidewater. Reconsideration of value might be another 5 days. But, the seller should really look at it as, okay, if this was a conventional loan, we would just have to drop the price. Where in a VA loan, there's other options for us to do to get that value.